All right, man. Let's talk about Deebo Samuels. It said that he has been given permissions to request a trade away from the San Francisco 49ers. So apparently, interesting guy. I know without Ben Johnson, might be a little bit fun, might be a little bit different, but he seemed like a Ben Johnson guy. One of those guys that could do everything. I mean, they done some things in the past um, with St. Brown with the ball in his hand, with Jameson Williams. Now, he's not your conventional receiver. So when you're talking about just catching and but he does some great things. I mean, he loves to go over the middle, similar to St. Brown. He can do some things down the field this year. It was said that he came in a little bit out of shape this year. Um, but like I said, the contract will be interesting. But the things that he can do with the football in his hand, I think would be very interesting for the Detroit Lions to deal with. Um, the things that he can do with the ball in his hand. I mean, uh, jet sweeps or hand the ball off or, what he can do down the field. But 49ers grant receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. permission to find a trade. And I think the writing was on the wall when they played Brandon Ayuk and when they drafted that Ricky Parcel guy or whatever his name is out of Florida. Um, you know, but he's a guy that does everything for San Francisco. For the second time in 3 years, wide receiver Deebo Samuels requested that the San Francisco 49ers trade him. This time, the 49ers are willing to accommodate such moves. Samuels told ESPN on Sunday that the Niners granted he and his agent, Tory Dandy, permission to find a trade partner after Samuel expressed his desire to move on at the exit meeting with Coach Kyle Shanahan in January. It was a hard conversation to have with Kyle because our relationship that we have, Samuels told ESPN's Adam Schefter, but I have to do what's best. I'm more than thankful for the Niners giving me an opportunity of a lifetime, but now I think it's best that we find another team. Trade Samuels will come with significant salary cap ramifications for the Niners. They restructured Samuels' contract in September. A move means that if they trade him before June 1st, they would absorb $31.5 million in dead money hit on the cap. Samuels also due $15.4 million option bonus in March 22nd, which means the Niners would almost certainly want any deal completed before then. If a trade can't be consummated, the possibility remains the Niners could release Samuels despite general manager John Lynch, saying on January 8th, such move isn't an option. And that scenario, the 49ers could use the post-1st June designation on the transition after the new league years begin March 12th before bonuses due. If they do that, the cap hit would decrease to $10.7 million over the next 2 years. So that seemed to be a little bit more plausible. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's on them. At the time, Samuels was coming off his best season, nearly leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl appearance, and he was viewed as a key part of the team's future. San Francisco never seriously entertained offer. Samuels ultimately signed him. Woo, 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 woo. So, during a 4-game stretch late in the season, Seattle, Green Bay, Buffalo, Chicago, Samuels had just 97 yards from scrimmage, 17 touch finish with 21, 20, and 35 yards in those games. It was the first time Samuels failed to have at least 50 yards from scrimmage in 4 straight games since a 5-game stretch in his rookie year in 2019 on December 9th. One day after the game against the Bears, Samuels went on social media writing, in a sense, deleted post on X, not struggling at all, not getting the ball. And it is what it is. Samuel's ability to play running back became prominent in 2021 when he finished with 77 receptions, 1,405 yards, 6 TDs to go with 59 carries, 365 yards, and 8 more scores. His way to first team All-Pro honors that season. Samuels became the third player in NFL history to have 1,000 receiving yards with at least 5 touchdowns rushing and 5 or more receiving. Samuels has 334 receptions for 4,792 yards, 22 touchdowns, along with 202 carries, 1,143 rushing yards, 20 rushing touchdowns his career. Those 20 rushing scores are the most by a wide receiver since at least 1960. So, I mean, it's very interesting that they, he wanted to move on. Sound like he wanted to move on. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, for the Lions, could it be a fit? I mean, yeah. I don't think it's a great fit because I think they need a great outside. You know, you know, I think that they need, a number one, well, outside receiver, and Samuel's more of a guy you move around and more of a gadget guy, and they do those things with St. Brown, Gibbs, and also Amara St. Brown. I'm in a Jameson Williams. You know, so, but it is what it is, and uh, but yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, they can find creative ways to get him the football, and you couldn't just line him out. You couldn't just line him out there at the number one spot. You still would have to, get these alignments to get these guys open, and that's one thing the Lions do a great job of. They do a lot of these little alignments to get their receivers, to really draw it up to get their receivers open. They bunch them up, they move them in motion. When you have a number one guy on that outside, you have a guy on that outside, bro, that you can move. You don't have to move. He can play that Marvin Harrison position or that outside position. You ain't got to move him around. That gives you a lot of free will to do a lot of other things. And that's pretty much what they missing. And you don't really get that so much with Cooper Kupp neither. Even with Tyreek, they move everybody. I mean, Justin Jefferson, they don't really make those guys like Marvin Harrison no more. I think the closest thing is probably T. Higgins, guys like that. But, just guys that can do it. You could just put them on the outside and they'd be good. That's what they're looking for. But, Samuels will get him a guy that honestly you could do a lot of different things. It would make the Lions defense that much more dangerous, especially if they release him, you're able to get him under a new contract, you know. But, some of the things he can do with that ball, a ball in his hand, you know what I'm saying? Um, that's the crazy thing. Some of the things he can do with the ball in his hand, Lions really can get funky, with what they call, and they really can get creative. But I think they're really looking for somebody on that outside that can really, that really can do the damn thing on the outside. They can line them up out there, and they don't really have to worry about too much other things. But I mean, Deebo Samuels, I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's a tough guy, gritty guy, that the Lions will need. But I think when you start to think, more other receivers, what they need that real critical outside receiver, if we being real. So, but hey, they can find a way to make it work. They've been making it work right now. But I think he fits the culture fit. All receivers cry, bitch, complain about not getting the football. I think he fits the culture, gritty, tough guy, obviously a former all pro, but I think for the most part, I would lean towards not doing it. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.